Can you name the largest snake in the world right off the top of your head? Here's a hint. It shares its name with a very famous horror movie. Got it? That's right, it's the anaconda. Now imagine putting that creature side by side with the world's largest crocodile, Lolong, who weighed close to a ton. Sounds like the perfect setup for a new monster horror film, doesn't it? But here's the thing. These giants are nothing compared to the ancient predators that once roamed the earth. I'm talking about the Titanoboa and the Kronosaurus. Millions of years ago, these two ruled both land and sea. But what if they were still alive today? Would humanity survive, or would it spell our doom? Today, I'll introduce you to these prehistoric monsters that terrified everything in their path. We'll explore when and where they lived, and then reimagine them in our modern world. Will these giants conquer our planet, or could humans actually resist them? Something tells me things are about to get very intense. But before we start the time machine, let's meet our stars. Let's begin with the Titanoboa. This ancient snake lived around 58 million years ago. According to scientists, for at least 10 million years, it was the largest predator on Earth. It stretched up to 42 feet, 13 meters long, and weighed more than a ton. Picture this monster. Even if you laid down 2 giraffes in a row, the Titanoboa would still be longer. Or just compare their bones. On the left, you see the vertebra of a modern anaconda. On the right, the vertebra of a Titanoboa. The largest snake alive today looks tiny next to its ancient cousin. This mega snake was so massive, it could easily swallow a young hippo whole. Of course, hippos didn't exist back then. Instead, Titanoboa hunted fish and crocodiles. Thriving in swampy rivers, it was a stealthy killer ambushing prey, crushing it in its coils, then swallowing it whole. The pressure of its grip was equivalent to the weight of 1.5 Brooklyn Towers pressing down. That's about 400 pounds per square inch. Let's turn to the Kronosaurus. Although smaller than Titanoboa, it was no less terrifying. Its enormous jaws were lined with dozens of razor-sharp teeth. In size, it was comparable to today's killer whale. This marine reptile grew over 33 feet long and weighed up to 12 tons. Its body resembled a gigantic crocodile, with a powerful chest, 4 strong flippers, and a short tail. The Kronosaurus was a deadly swimmer, likely attacking from the depths. Once it clamped down on its prey, escape was impossible. Now, here's the twist. Titanoboa and Kronosaurus never met. They lived in different eras and climates. Kronosaurus thrived in cooler southern seas, while Titanoboa preferred steamy tropical swamps. But both ruled their domains as apex predators. So what if they hadn't gone extinct? What if they shared our world today? Would coexistence with humans be possible, or would it be a nightmare? If Titanoboa were alive today, you'd probably find it near the equator in the steaming jungles of Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, or Panama. Humans would have to reinforce their homes with electrified fences and keep stun guns under their pillows. Because if the snake wanted in, it wouldn't knock, it would smash through windows or doors. Thankfully, snakes don't usually act like that. And truth be told, Titanoboa wouldn't even care much for humans as prey. Modern anacondas rarely attack people, so chances are its giant cousin wouldn't either. But humans would still hunt it for its skin, for trophies, and for museums. Owning a Titanoboa hide would be priceless, and the hunters who captured one would be hailed as national heroes. For food, Titanoboa would have no shortage of options. Alligators, giant river turtles, freshwater dolphins, armadillos, tapirs, caimans, jaguars, and giant otters. It would especially target the young of these species. Over time, the Amazon food chain would collapse. Some animals would flee, the rainforest ecosystem would unravel, and insects and fungi would dominate the abandoned green paradise. The Kronosaurus, meanwhile, would face its own problems in the modern ocean. Its day, even turtles were the size of dining tables. Now, it would need to eat dozens of them just to feel full. It might turn to large marine mammals instead. Imagine a Kronosaurus attacking whales. It couldn't swallow them whole, but tearing them apart piece by piece? No problem. This creature was a living meat grinder. Humans would suffer too. Fish stocks would plummet, making commercial fishing nearly impossible. Sailing in Kronosaurus territory would be a death wish. Entire stretches of ocean would be marked in red on maps as forbidden zones. And if whales went extinct under its predation, the climate itself would spiral out of balance, since whales help regulate carbon in the atmosphere. So, Between Titanoboa ruling the rivers and Kronosaurus dominating the seas, life on Earth would look very different and far more dangerous. And let's not forget, Titanoboa's skin would be worth a fortune, while Kronosaurus's teeth could fetch more than rhino horn. Rhino horn is already one of the most expensive materials in the world, worth around $65,000 per kilogram more than gold. Could these monsters ever come back? Some scientists think it's not impossible. Titanoboa thrived at average global temperatures of 90 Fahrenheit. And with today's accelerating climate change, such conditions could eventually return. Not tomorrow, not next century, but in millions of years. So, would you want to see these ancient monsters alive again? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and share it with your friends.